Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Tony the Mole Adams YouTube channel. I'm sitting a bit closer to the camera than I normally do. Sorry to scare you. It's for technical reasons. I won't bother explaining it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, great response last week to our Tony's Midweek Scoops. And here he is again. I'm in London. Tony's in Sydney. Tony, how are you?
Yeah, doing well, Steve. And I thought I'd wear red. This is actually a Byron Bay Red Devils t-shirt that Todd Carney gave me, but I thought red because it's almost Christmas and I do look a bit like Santa.
Yeah, we were both going a bit grey around the chin there. Now, Tony, we saw the great video of Wayne Bennett arriving back at Souths and approaching Lewis Dodd and saying, "What's your name?" Uh, so the halfback position, and Lewis Dodd doesn't come into South Sydney in the best of form. He didn't have a great year last year, so the halfback position is certainly not nailed on for him. He's got to fight for it. And you have a Smoky, a guy who might be wearing the number 7 at Souths more than maybe we expected in 2025.
Yeah, that's right. And it's one of these situations that's just developed, Steve, with Ben Hunt suddenly going to the Broncos. Poor old Jock Madden has been shown the door. And anyone who's watched Jock Madden the last couple of years at the Broncos, at the Tigers, knows that he's a pretty competent halfback and he's getting some experience now. And I spoke to his management and they are going to talk to the great Wayne Bennett and say, why don't you take this guy on board? And Wayne, as we know, loves a bargain, and the Broncos, who Wayne has a long history with, will be paying a good slice of his salary. So it might be something Wayne would consider. One to keep our eye on over the next week or so.
The Wellington Orcas are one of two South Island, New Zealand franchises bidding to enter the NRL. I believe the Papua New Guinea announcement, by the way, has been put back. It was going to be as you're watching this, but it's been delayed for reasons unknown. But Tony, uh, uh, who's going to coach the Wellington Orcas? Have they got a coach in mind?
Yeah, they do. They've got a hit list of players and coaches. I spoke to the great Graham Lowe, who's one of my favourite all-time rugby league people, and he's not wanting to rock the boat. He doesn't want to come out and say we're going to chase Craig Bellamy or Wayne Bennett or whoever, but they do have a coach in mind. And I also wrote a yarn the other day. He gave the Warriors a good serve. The Warriors came out and said that they think another New Zealand team should not come in for 10 to 15 years. Graham Lowe says that's ridiculous. You're an international rugby league man. What's your thoughts?
Well, there's an expression, Tony, that's been around since year dot. They would say that, wouldn't they? I mean, that's what the Broncos said for years about another team in Queensland, another team in Brisbane. You know, no one likes competition, so yeah, I think that's the only reason. Particularly since there's it's a bit further between Wellington and Auckland than it is between Brisbane and Redcliffe. So I would say that they've got less reason to fear, given that it's the catchment areas so far apart. But they might have to change their name back to Auckland Warriors, mightn't they, from New Zealand Warriors, if that was if that was to happen. Now, Tony,
Very good point.
yes, yes, yes. Now, Tony, your next item is about a scoop you had on this very channel a couple of weeks ago. Reece Robson to the Roosters. And you've got a bit more information about how that story happened and how it came to pass.
Yeah, well, of course, it got announced last week with considerable fanfare. It leaked out, but I can tell you that Reece Robson made up his mind about a month ago, and the reason I know this is that he told several players in the Australian camp in the Pacific Championships, which was a bit of a rookie error because when you start telling players things in camp, they don't stay in camp. It's not like Vegas where things stay in Vegas. And I got told a month ago, and that's how I came up with the story. So it's just an interesting little bit of background on how the business was done.
I'm sure Spencer Leniu wishes what happened in Vegas stayed in Vegas, but it didn't, and we shan't again. Now, we always mention players that the readers, viewers, listeners may not have heard of. This week, Miles Martin. Tell us all about Miles Martin.
Yeah, that's right. And he's gone from the Knights to the Raiders. He was the captain of the Knights SG ball team, so they certainly rated him. He's a 20-year-old back rower, and he signed for 3 years with the Raiders. And I can tell you quite a few other clubs were after him. He's a New South Wales under-19 player, and the Raiders have about 4 or 5 other members of the New South Wales under-19s from 2 years ago, including Ethan Strange. We know what a good player he is in their ranks. So definitely one to watch, Miles Martin.
And that's it for this week, folks. Thanks again for supporting us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Still, most of you who watch, you stumble across it every week, and you don't subscribe. It costs nothing to subscribe, so just hit that subscribe button. And Tony, we'll speak again next week, closer to Christmas.
Yep, 1 week closer, but the rugby league action never stops.
Good luck on the sleigh, Santa.